Beep, 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 beep. Hello, good peeps. How are we? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good morning, good afternoon. Good evening and good night. Wherever you may be today. Hello, hello. I'm pleased to be here again, and thank you very much for listening. It's winter now, and it's getting for winter. It's all jumpers with me these days. I miss me bright shirts. I'll have to see if I can crank the heating up so I can wear the damn things. At the moment, I just sit, in jumpers and blankets and shiver on the couch because I don't want to give electricity companies my money. The swine. Now, many of you will know. Oh, share this with you. I want to become a Jesterite. Some great chats going on. Come and be a Jesterite. Get some exclusive content of me being nutty about film mostly. It's only just started, so I'm not sure where it's going, but we'll find out. So I've been doing toxic trans in film. I'm going to do toxic women, toxic men, and then one of the bright sparks, toxic animals, right? Really? I really need to have to think about that one. Right, okay, so I'm really surprised when occasionally I come across an article that I don't remember or that I've not seen previously when I'm looking for stuff that is relevant to the warrior teachers that can be included as reading material in the course. I am delighted to have come across this piece, which I had previously not seen, by the indomitable Dr. M. Now, if you're not familiar with Dr. M is on the Twitters, right? Okay. All links, as usual, will be in the doobries. And this is something that's close to my heart, which is the repeal of the Gender Recognition Act. There are lots, there's lots of GCs in this and lots of people in this fight who don't think that's got to be a thing. Sorry. I think we're more enlightened at my end. You'll get it. No, I'm kidding. The conversations need to be had. I think it should be repealed. The sooner the better. And it appears to me from this rather marvellous article, which I shall read you some of, which can be found on Uncommon Ground Media. You can go and have a look for yourself. Written by Dr. M. And the title itself really sets out the stall. So, after a puff on my vape, we begin. Repeal the Gender Recognition Act. A homophobic and sexist relic. Boom. You ain't kidding. The Gender Recognition Act, writes Dr. M, is a leftover that before gay marriage was legalised and is founded on sexist pseudoscience. It must be repealed. It is not illegal in the UK to wear clothes described as for the opposite sex. David Bowie, Boy George, me, and others were not arrested for wearing makeup. Boys I grew up with commonly wore eyeliner. If one faced discrimination based on what one was wearing, for example, not gaining a promotion at work because one was male who liked to wear skirts, a claim of sex discrimination could and should be taken. The GRA was originally passed with homophobic intentions. So many people don't know this. I wonder whether you do. Let me know. Did you know? Did you know it was purely homophobia that did it? It was done to prevent having to legislate same-sex marriage. That legal barrier and inequality has thankfully been removed. They got the right to marry long before we did. The GRA, the Sex Role Stereotype Recognition Act, does not serve to right a legislative injustice, but rather to entrench a worldview. This creed is one where women's oppression is natural and desired, same-sex attraction is bigotry, which can be unlearnt, and individual men get to define reality based on their wishes. It is a dogma where children who do not conform to strict social categories of boyish and girlish are declared to have been born wrong. The suffix ism denotes that this is a belief system, like how ism is added to feminism, Catholicism, conservatism, liberalism. It frightens and offends me that the government has endorsed these doctrines through legislation which intends to compel belief and subscription. And then there's a subtitle, Sex Role Stereotype Discomfort Disorder. Brilliant. The GRA, the Sex Role Stereotype Recognition Act, and the ideology it embeds is based on sexist science. The notion of sex role discomfort disorder, brackets gender dysphoria, presupposes that sex role stereotypes are innate to all of us and is based on woo-woo. Good use of the word woo-woo there, Dr. M. What convinced you of sex role stereotype discomfort disorder? Was it the small study of tomboys whose assertive play then proved that there are girl brains and boy brains? Or was it the way some of the offspring of stressed rats have coitus, which proved that prenatal hormones alternating and thus a gender identity exists? Was it the idea of feminized testicles? Or maybe it was Or maybe it was, she writes so well, or maybe it was the hypothesis that the mother had been over-attentive to a male child, which made him either feel like a girl or wish to distance himself from the men his mother allegedly hated. That one doesn't work, does it? Apparently Hitler's mother was too attentive. Or maybe it is the notion that what a woman wears mentally disturbs her child. That what a woman wears mentally disturbs her child. That's unreal. That if a woman doesn't have enthusiastic sex with her husband, or heaven forfend is bisexual, then her child's gender identity will be disrupted. Do you agree with Harry Benjamin? That, and this is what Harry Benjamin said, one of the original nonsense versions, the normal male is sexually attracted to women and will be horrified to wear female clothes or change his sex. He is often husband and father, works in a job or profession in accord with his sex and gender that is never questioned legally or socially. The genetically normal female presents the opposite picture. She feels, looks, acts and functions as a woman, wants to be nothing else, usually marries and has children. She dresses and makes up to be attractive to men, and her sex and gender are never doubted either by society or by law. M continues, yes, Benjamin, and therefore the science of transsexualism, transgenderism, posited that any variation from a heterosexual stereotype was against nature, was abnormal. Furthermore, even one of the founding fathers of the idea of transsexualism or transgenderism admitted that the concept was undermined by reality. Robert Stoller made the striking admission that obviously not all beliefs that are contradicted by reality are delusions. That's astonishing. Law change has been undertaken on the basis of 3 dream studies conducted by Robert Stoller on boys he deemed feminine. Do you really believe that some children are born wrong if they don't conform to sexism? A boy that prefers dance to rough and tumble play requires surgical correction. That was me. A girl who prefers to wear trousers rather than dresses requires medicating. We need to stop approving their ideology and the idea that if you are uncomfortable with discrimination, then you have a mental illness. The rapid rise in teenage girls identifying as boys and buying into this concept that we're born wrong means we must act with haste. Every moment wasted is another child mutilated. Transgenderism for teenage girls is the wrong answer to a woman and girl-hating culture. It is the wrong response to a society where the female is objectified, seen as an instrument for male pleasure, and judged on her appearance as if she had no inner world. Go and read it. It's a great article. Dr. M's a feminist. We do all perspectives here. Go and have a read. I think it's from 2021. We must act with haste. We're now in 2023, Em. We're now in 2023. You know, act with haste. Yes, we must act with haste. It's very important that governments act with haste. Unfortunately, I think it's unlikely they're going to. Because, you know, they don't do much at haste, with good reason. I saw Glinner's interview, which this sort of segued into, because my primary concern at the moment, is the fact that Labour are going to win the general election, which I think holds disaster for the entire country. Now, there are many, many people who would disagree with me on that. I think they are dangerous. It's that simple. Starmer's a bumbling idiot. From what I can tell, just foolish man on this particular issue. He's very clever in other ways. And we've got the likes of Annalise Dodd. Where do you go with these people? So I think Labour's a problem. And Graham, when they asked Graham, what do you think will happen if the Labour government wins? And Graham said something along the lines of, I think that it would show them for what they truly are. It will open up the whole picture. And I think Graham's right. I think we'll get a Labour government. I think it will be a disaster of such epic proportions that they won't be in power for the next 20 years after that. That's what I think is going to happen. They're going to give away women's rights. They're going to make gay conversion therapy state-backed. That's what they're going to do. State-backed. And then they're going to make the state twice the size it is now. And they're going to use it to enforce those diktats that we know so many people don't believe. We are headed down a very dark road, and that article from Dr. M in 2021 reminds us of the fundamentals of why this is so dangerous. And to me, that's a good thing. Go and read what Dr. M has to say. A very interesting article. Again, look forward to hearing your take on it on Twitter. Please share this if you can to Twitter and join us and become a Jesterite. New Warrior Teachers in January. I'll see you later. Bye.